And so Arthur Smith, he's done a pretty good job in his first year considering what he has to take over. We talked about the salary cap, free agency. There's still glaring holes on the roster. You said basically every position could get flipped around. So from your time covering him in Atlanta, how has he been able to get this team to buy in? Because we've seen some other head coaches struggle with that in the first year.
I think he's just really upfront with his guys, and he's honest with them. He calls it a sober-minded approach to basically everything. He says it a lot in press conferences. It's like drilled and ingrained in my head. But that's, I think, how he approaches everything. And he's real with guys. And I think there's an appreciation of that. Like he's not going to mess around. And he's also shown like, hey, if you produce in practice, you will play. And if they're feeling like you're not producing, you will sit, and he will try to find the best matchups to win each week. I think what he's done with Cordero Patterson has really caught the eyes of a lot of people, because Cordero Patterson is a guy that always oozed talent, but no one could ever figure out how to really use him on offense beyond his immense skills as a kick returner. Well, Arthur Smith's figured that out. And to be fair, there's some credit that goes to the Bears there, because the Bears last year are initially the ones that started playing around with him a little bit more as a full-time running back. But then Dave Ragone and Charles London, who were two of the main people who did that in Chicago, came to Atlanta, and that was part of how Patterson ended up in Atlanta. But again, it's all part of that. I think he's making the most of what he has and understand. And if you look at it and understand the roster, I think that is impressive. I said a few weeks ago, if the Falcons had somehow made the playoffs, and technically they're still alive, so I will stick with this. If they somehow make the playoffs, he should be at least considered, if not be coach of the year, because of what they've had to work with. And the fact that he was able to take that type of roster, which is reality, like a bottom maybe 6 roster in the NFL, and turn them into a playoff team, that's not bad. And I think people are understanding that, at least within the building. Like, listen, you had X to work with, and he's figuring out ways to get guys to play to the best of their abilities in almost every situation.